It's 11:06 at Y101 in the Midday Memory Show, and today we have a special guest. It's perhaps possible you've seen him on television or his products. His name is Stephen K. Scott. He's been on the Larry King Show with Larry on CNN, but has been all over television. He's here to talk about something that's going to help you, and it's something he's going to explain because I can't, because I'm just a sports guy. Tell us all about it, Steve.
Well, first a little bit about my background, just so people know who I am, because it's important. That's where credibility comes from. I flunked out of 9 jobs in my first 6 years after college. Couldn't succeed no matter how hard I tried. Man that some of your listeners may know, Gary Smalley, was my best friend, and Gary got me into the book of Proverbs, of all things. And in Proverbs, I learned strategies that literally transformed everything. And on job number 10, starting in 1976, we started a little company with $5,000 that grew to over $3 billion in sales. If people have seen the Total Gym with Chuck Norris and Christy Brinkley, that's one of our companies. We had Deal-A-Mill with Richard Simmons. We had a fitness line with Jane Fonda. We had a hair care line with Cher. A lot of major brands that we started from scratch using celebrity endorsements in television. But in 2006, I met a researcher and medical doctor from the Mayo Graduate School of Medicine. And I was introduced to him by an investment banker who said he has created the greatest breakthrough product you will ever find in your lifetime. And I thought, hogwash. And I said, what kind of a product? And he said, a supplement. And when he said that, I put up my hand and I said, not interested. And he said, why? I said, I don't believe in supplements. All they've ever done is turn my light yellow urine into bright yellow urine. And I can do that for free just by holding it longer. And he said, no, this is different. And I said, well, how is this different? He says, what it does in the human cell can be verified and quantified through a blood test. And what it does is so significant that it is life-changing, and it's even been granted a very broad U.S. patent. So I agreed to meet with that doctor. I saw his background. He was board certified in 3 areas of medicine: hematology, immunology, and oncology. Had an incredible clinic, and I saw his patient results in his clinical trials, and they were unbelievable. I put one of my sons, who was an athlete, on it. He ended up becoming a national champion in track and field. Incredible changes that it made, and yet it was certified drug-free, so any athlete could use it without any fear of losing anything. But we agreed to manufacture samples and hand them out. Well, people's lives literally were changed within 90 days. And so we launched a company in 2007 called Max International to get this particular product out. And then scientists came to us from the University of Minnesota that had 25 years of peer-reviewed studies on their approach to the same problem, and their approach took it a whole step further. And they had created a nutrient that was just unbelievable in what it was doing in the human body. And we were seeing athletes break world records with it. We were seeing people literally that had certain issues, a lot of different issues, transformed overnight. So then we launched the company and really made that the centerpiece. And so we can get into how it works, but it literally is life-changing for anybody that gets on it. Sounds too good to be true, but I walked away. My little job with the company I had started had made me millions of dollars a year for decades. So I was really blessed, and I walked away from that because I saw the difference this can make in other people's lives. My biggest competitors on TV, Guthrie Rinker, they have things like Proactive and so on. Well, Bill Guthrie and Greg Rinker hired scientists to check out our science, and 30 days later, they put millions of dollars in because we all agreed the world needs to have this. And now Chuck Norris and his wife are our new spokespersons, and so we're really taking it all over the world. We have offices now in 10 countries, and we're seeing this impact the lives of people, like I say, all over the world. It's been the most amazing journey of my life.
Well, what is it?
Okay. I guess we have to start out with the problem. your body has a miracle molecule that's produced by every single cell. Your brain cells, your liver cells, kidney cells, every cell in your body produces this miracle molecule called glutathione. Some of your listeners have maybe seen Suzanne Summers talk about it because she's really been taken by it. But glutathione, you can't survive without it, but your body can't make enough of it. And your body's ability to make glutathione declines by 10% per decade. And anytime you have any health issue, anytime you exercise, you don't get enough sleep, you eat the wrong diet, glutathione is the cell's first line of defense. So your cells very quickly deplete what they're able to manufacture. And what we do is get a particular nutrient into the cell, and this is what our patents cover. We have 38 patents on this one nutrient. Patents or patents pending. And we get it into the cell through our patented delivery system, and it's capsules, but how it gets into the cell is amazing. And once it's in the cell can make more glutathione. So glutathione is the Chuck Norris of the cell. It kicks out the bad guys, it protects the good guys in the cell. And when you change things at a cellular level in a positive way, that affects every tissue, every organ, skin. I mean, you name it, this impacts it. And so we see lives transformed every day. We have a lot of world-class athletes that are breaking world records on it. Like I said, my son became a national champion high jumper, got a track scholarship, is now a decathlete. And but that's just one. We see it. We have amazing stories. We have one guy who's the former strength and conditioning coach of the Seattle Seahawks. And Barney, you say you work out. Well, this guy has been into weightlifting, competitive weightlifting, since he's 14. He's now the strength and conditioning coach for Liberty University. Got on our product. 30 days later, he went to his first meet that he was on our product, set 5 world records in one day as a 49-year-old. He broke the open world record, all ages, in the bench press. 804 pounds was his 4th lift. And but we also have retired athletes, NBA players, Chris Mullen, who just introduced to the Hall of Fame, and he was on the Dream Team in 92. At 50, he is now able to work out like he did in his 20s. While most of his friends and peers that were in the era that he played in have a hard time working out at all. But we see this time and time again. So it's truly life-changing.
Well, what does it do to you, especially strength-wise?
Okay, what it does, glutathione does several things in the cell. Number one, it handles oxidative stress. And anytime you exercise, you are stressing every major muscle cell in your body. Your heart's being stressed, your lungs being stressed. Of course, your lower body is being heavily stressed.
But that's good for you, right?
Well, it's good and it's bad. Stress is not good. When you create too much oxygen in a cell, what it does is it creates oxidative stress and free radicals that attack the DNA of the cell. Really bad. If you don't handle that, it will ultimately be devastating to the cell. Well, glutathione is the body's master antioxidant. It literally puts out these oxidative fires as fast as they start, but your body can't make enough of it. So what we do is we give the body a way to make more, and the result is that you not only gain more endurance, but you also, because you do less damage to the muscle cells, you recover much more quickly. My son, his first couple weeks in college, the track coach called us and said, Ryan is unbelievable. We're into plyometrics right now, and the rest of the athletes after a heavy day can barely walk the next day, and Ryan, on the other hand, repeats the same exercises every day, 3 hours and 30 minutes of just torture on the legs. And he said, so we finally figured this guy's got to be on something to perform like that. So we called him in and we said, Ryan, you act like you're not even sore. And he said, Coach, I haven't been sore since I was 15. And he said, well, how can that be? And he said, well, my dad's company makes some pills and a juice. And he said, you should have seen the look on everybody's face. We were terrified. Oh, great, there goes our eligibility. Well, do you have any of it? And he said, yeah. And he came and brought the products to him, and they, of course, see this BSCG certified. BSCG is Banned Substance Control Group, certified drug-free. And he said, once we saw that on the label, we all relaxed because we thought, okay, it's been approved, so anybody can use it. It's not doing anything illegal in the body. But it accelerates recovery, and that's why athletes go crazy on it. We have PGA guys, golfers, that say now their back nine's as good as their front nine because they're not getting fatigued. We have some of the world's top triathletes.
How about cyclists, professional cyclists?
Oh, incredible with cyclists. In fact, the number one cyclist in Utah, which is where I live, he came to church, and he was introduced to me as Utah's top cyclist. He's 41 years old, a guy named Justin Wilson. And I said, I've got a product you need to try. So I gave him a couple months worth of product, and he got feeling so good he thought he was Superman. And he recovered so fast and everything, and he ran out of the product and thought, well, I don't need it anymore because now, man, I can't even believe this. So he didn't use it for 3 weeks. Then he did 4-hour training ride and then a 3-hour speed ride on a circuit. And he called me up or texted me and said, Steve, can you bring some to church? I am dying. I've never been this sore. I made the mistake of running out and not getting on it. So I brought it to him at church. I said, here's a little bit more. Try it for another 30 days. After 30 days, he texted me, and he said, okay, yesterday I did 14,000-foot climb over I think it was a 4-hour period, 150 miles with a 14,000-foot climb. He said, I shouldn't even be able to walk today. My wife and I went on a hike this morning. Can you tell me, now that you've got me hooked, how I can get on this? So those are the kinds of testimonies we see all the time on this product.
Well, once you get an athlete hooked, because athletes, I've always said this, are like copycats. No matter what it is, if something works, it spreads.
Yes, and it is spreading. It's spreading like crazy. Well, that's the glutathione thing, but let me tell you what we've developed this year that's so exciting. Medical professor, doctor, researcher from University of Michigan. We started working with him about 2 years ago, and we said we want to develop a new approach to weight loss, one that is heart healthy, one that can really make a difference and not just be hype. Do you think you could do it? And we gave him that challenge a couple years ago. He said, absolutely. He says, because there's some new studies that have just been published on a particular nutrient, and that nutrient's been shown to raise metabolism without raising your heartbeat, your pulse rate. It's perfectly healthy. It's not a stimulant. And we said, okay, have at it. Well, he came up with a weight loss program. Took him 2 years, but we launched it last September, and we've had a hard time keeping it in stock. I lost, in my first 9 weeks, I lost 22 pounds. I went from, in that 9 weeks, from a 42 to about a 36, and with no exercise. And I thought, well, I got to see what exercise adds to it. And since I own Total Gym, I thought, okay, I have them throughout my house. And I thought, okay, I'll do light exercise. So I added a little light exercise to it. And in the next few weeks, lost another 18 pounds, because I've lost a total of 42 pounds. And it's just been amazing. So we launched that product, and it doesn't require willpower, because I'm 65 years old. My metabolism's through the floor. I don't exercise. I don't have willpower. But what happened is through this particular molecular pathway that this professor was focusing on, we are raising metabolism. Your appetite goes down. There are no appetite suppressants in it, but it starts really, the way it just works biologically is amazing. And now we have thousands of people on this, and we're seeing the same kinds of results. The postings are all over Facebook. I mean, people are losing fat. It targets fat. In the clinical study, the average weight loss was 18.5 pounds in 12 weeks, and here was the big number.
What does it do to fat?
Well, what it's doing, it's raising your metabolism through
it burns it.
Molecular pathway called the AMPK pathway. And the AMPK is a switch that's in every cell. And when it's flipped to the left, it's telling your cells to store calories. When it's flipped to the right, this is just a word picture, when it's flipped to the right, it's telling the cells to burn calories. Well, everything you eat, drink, and do either flips it to the left or right. Well, what our product does, it flips it to the right. It flips it to the burn mode, so you're burning calories instead of storing them, but your cell needs calories, so when it burns too many calories, what it does, it starts to burn the fat. And so we're seeing 75% of the pounds lost in the clinical trial was fat. Normally, the amount of fat loss in any weight loss program is way, way below that. So it's targeting fat. It's also combined with ingredients that help your body build more lean muscle. And lean muscle burns calories 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A pound, listen to this, a pound of lean muscle is the size of a golf ball. A pound of fat is the size of a softball. So of the 40 pounds that I've lost, about 32 pounds of that was fat. That means I've lost 32 softballs from my body of that much volume of fat. So people are just going crazy on this, and it's not something you're going to gain back because your appetite and your cravings go down significantly. It makes it easy to make better lifestyle choices. You don't crave carbs, so it's easy to say no to the potato chips. It's easy to say no to the cookie dough.
I love cookies.
Yeah, see? But why let them control you? I love cookies.
Yeah.
But about 85-90% of my diet was starch, because I love sweets, I love bread and so on, and I had no willpower to change that. Well, all of a sudden, when you're not craving and you're not starving, you now can make good choices, and the bad choices don't have that magnetic pull on you like they used to.
So you take this in capsule form?
Well, you take part of the program are the capsules. The other part is we have the world's first fiber bar that combines insoluble fiber with soluble fiber at the right ratio. It's 50-50. Most fiber products are anywhere from 100% to maybe some are as low as 90% insoluble fiber. Well, insoluble fiber is good. It's like a sponge that takes up a lot of the toxins and gets them through your system. But insoluble is more like a brush. It literally scrubs you out, and it activates a molecule called the CCK molecule, which is a messaging molecule in the gut that tells your brain, I'm satisfied, I'm happy, I don't need to eat right now. And so it really kills cravings, and we're the only ones in the world that have this. It was very, very difficult. We could only find one manufacturer that could do this. In fact, we had to go outside of the United States to Canada to find one. Now we've recently found one in the U.S., but it's very difficult to manufacture, but we have it, and so it's the combination of the two. We're raising metabolism, and at the same time, we're lowering appetite and lowering cravings, and that's been the key.
Okay, if you're just tuning in, we're talking to Stephen K. Scott. He's the founder of Max International. He's going to be in town. You're going to be speaking today, right?
Yes.
Noontime at Meadows Regional Medical Center, the hospital.
Yes, to medical staff. We're letting them see this. A lot of doctors, they're skilled in medicine, but they're not microbiologists. I had the president of the AMA in my office, and he said, if glutathion's so important, why haven't I heard of it?
I've never heard of it.
You're not a molecular biologist, but ask any molecular biologist about glutathione, and they'll spend 2 hours telling you what a miracle molecule it is. So we're going to be talking to the doctors and medical staff, and then we have an event on Saturday for the general public, and it's at the Meadows Wellness Center in Vidalia, 1 to 3 p.m., and it's a women's and men health event. We have a doctor who lectures on this that's going to be talking. It's not a dry lecture at all. I'm going to be talking about it. We have a nutritionist. But if people want to lose weight, if they want to lose fat, we don't want to lose muscle, we don't want to lose water, we want to lose fat. And that's what we target.
Is this for anybody? Is this for athletes, but also just regular people?
Yes.
And young people and old people?
Yes, anybody. I'm being told, yes, the meeting on Saturday is free. There's no charge or anything. This product benefits everybody. Literally everybody. Every cell in your body, every organ in your body, even your skin wants more glutathione. You can go to a health food store, buy glutathione, but as soon as it hits your stomach, the stomach acid destroys it. So what our patents do is they demonstrate that we get the precursing nutrient into the cell so the cell can make more of its own. So it's very natural that way. It works with your body instead of trying to force something that's not there.
Is this more important now? Because let's be honest, most people, I hate to say this, have terrible diets, and the food they eat is not good food.
Doesn't have nutrition, highly toxic, highly fat, highly carb. The weight loss is critical. 70% of the people in America are overweight. Now that's going to kill you. Diabetes is now epidemic. But you don't have to have diabetes. Listen to this fact. We work with the guy who used to be on the Stanford heart transplant team. He's one of our scientists that doesn't get paid. Doctors and scientists are involved with this for free because they want to see the science get out there. But he made the comment to us, 75% of all heart attacks in the United States, the first symptom that you even have a problem is the heart attack. That it's caused by inflammation. So you, as a guy who works out, you're young still.
Well, my father died of a heart attack. His father died of a heart attack, and probably his father too.
Okay, so even though you're lean, doesn't mean a thing, because if the inflammation is taking place in the arterial wall, it creates a thing called soft plaque or vulnerable plaque that cannot be identified or seen in any kind of imaging. It just sits inside the wall, and then what happens, a little pimple ultimately forms, and when that pimple bursts, the soft plaque, which is like a little jelly, escapes and causes an instant heart attack. And so 62% of all heart attacks in the United States, the person has 0 to 1 of the 10 risk factors. And it's like, well, my doctor said I was so healthy, said I would never have a heart attack. That's 62% of all the heart attacks in the U.S. 75% of all heart attacks are caused by inflammation. Glutathione deals with intercellular inflammation. So it's critical. In fact, the guy from the heart transplant team said to me, quote, if people and cardiologists and their patients realized what this is doing for the cardiovascular system by reducing intercellular inflammation, every person in the United States, every adult would be on it. So if you've got that, that's one risk factor, is lineage or a genealogy that has had any heart problems.
It's like one and out. I mean, you don't have a second one.
Yeah, it is. And so I'm saying you should, especially with the way you work out, you should be on our product. Your endurance will go up, your stamina will go up, your recovery rate will fall through the floor. You won't even believe how fast you recover. We have a lot of pro athletes on it in every sport. NFL, NBA, and so on. We have a lot of athletes that are on our product now.
A lot of people take cholesterol. Would this be a substitute for cholesterol medicine, or just a supplement?
Not at all.
To it?
This isn't a medication. This is a nutrient. And
I mean, if you take it, could you get off the cholesterol medicine?
Well,
which some people can't handle.
That's a medical question, and you'd be asking me to practice medicine, and so I won't. But we will have a doctor at this wellness seminar. The fact is, every cell in your body is going to perform better. That's huge. Every organ is going to perform better. This isn't something that prevents disease. It's not something that cures disease. But what happens is it prolongs health. And the health of a cell. We have 60 trillion cells. Okay? Every single cell in your body, just from free radicals, is attacked 10 to 20,000 times a day per cell by free radicals. Glutathione is the primary antioxidant that can handle any type of free radical attack if only your body had enough. We allow it to make more.
Is Christy Brinkley on this?
No.
Because didn't she do like Sports Illustrated?
Chuck Norris and his family have been on it from day one before I launched the company. In fact, that's why they're our endorsers now, is because it has had an incredible effect on them. They got Mike Huckabee on it during his campaign. Mike was going 20 hours a day, and he called it his magic bullet, because he had just as much energy in the 20th hour as he had in the first hour, and yet it doesn't interfere with sleep because there's no stimulants in it. The moment your head hits the pillow, man, you're going to go into a nice deep sleep like your body really needs, because now it has what it needs in terms of the nutrient to create more glutathione.
When you start taking it, do you immediately notice it?
Some people do, but most people, we say give it 90 days. We see transformational outcomes in 90 days. And after the interview, I'll show you some pictures and I can tell you stories, but we're, by law, because it's a nutritional product, we make no health claims whatsoever. But there have been 27 years, 20 peer-reviewed studies that have been published in medical journals and molecular biology journals about our nutrient that we hold the patents on. Our scientist, our chief scientist, is 86 years old. He's one of the world's renowned medicinal chemists. He was the highest level government scientist that the government recognizes for the Department of Medicine of the Veterans Administration for 38 years. He was the chief editor of the Journal of Medicinal Chemistry for 32 years. He's the one that created this patented nutrient that's changing lives.
I bet you a lot of people tuning in right now, they're wondering, what are they talking about? So just kind of a review for those who just might be tuning in, what you're talking about, Stephen.
Okay, glutathione is something your body makes. It's the most important defensive molecule your body makes. It's your body's master antioxidant, but it does a whole lot more. It's the sole protector of the immune cell. What we're talking about is a nutrient that gets into the cell and allows the cell to produce more glutathione as it needs it. It's literally demand release, and that's also covered by our patent. So your body utilizes it as it needs it, and there's no toxicity, there's no side effects. It just makes every cell a lot happier. And like I said, we call glutathione the Chuck Norris of the cell. Well, this is what allows Chuck Norris to duplicate himself. And so there can be a lot more Chuck Norrises in every cell in the body.
And if you want to learn more, I guess you can go by the Wellness Center on Saturday between 1 and 3.
Yes. We have a little seminar. It's not boring. It's exciting. And we have a medical specialist. In fact, he was head of women's medicine at a particular university for years. And his name is Dr. Gordon Crozier. He'll be speaking. I'll be speaking. And it's going to be fun, but it's 2 hours. You're going to go away, and you're going to know how to improve your health like never before. You're also going to, because of this new weight loss product that we developed with a medical professor, you're going to get excited about that as you see the results.
What is like one question somebody would ask? I mean, I'm sure people raise their hand and say, what?
The first question is, will this work for me? And the fact is, every cell in every human body works the same. And when you're talking about cellular protection and cellular nutrition, the key is, does this really get into the cell? And that's been proven by scientists. We now, like I say, we have 27 years of clinical studies or published studies. And we're also going to be speaking at the hospital today. And what's the name of the hospital?
Meadows Regional.
Okay, we'll be speaking there to medical staff. And but it's, people have 100 questions. Will this work for me? Why doesn't my doctor know about it? Real simple answer. My son's in medical school, and I've talked to world-renowned doctors, but they're not molecular biologists. When they learn about what this science involves, they get on it, and they see the same kinds of transformation. We have doctors now who have hundreds and hundreds of their patients, each doctor. Once they discover what this does in the human body, they start using it with their patients. They see amazing results. And like one doctor told me, he said, I'm used to emails and phone calls. He says, the only time I hear from a patient is when something's wrong. They come into my office with a problem, we deal with it. I don't see them again or hear from them again until they have another problem. He says, now that I have over 200 patients on this product, I get emails all the time saying, Doctor, I can't believe how good I feel. Did you know that this is happening with me? Did you know this is happening? He said it's changed. It's like turning the light on in my medical practice. Instead of being a gloomy place, it's a happy place because we're seeing so many people's lives positively impacted. That was a doctor that has a huge practice in Knoxville, Tennessee. And in fact, he's got the largest family practice in Knoxville. And it transformed not only his patients, it transformed his practice and his attitude about his practice.
Well, I want to thank you for dropping by. I know you got to get over to the hospital to do your speech today and to talk to the doctors and everything. But thank you, and we learned a lot today about it.
Well, Barney, thank you.
Thank you very much. Stephen K. Scott from Max International talking about something that could change your life. Again, if you want to learn more about it, you can drop by the Wellness Center on Saturday between 1 and 3. It's 11:37 here at Y101.
A lot of folks